No. Can I have the band play My Way? You know, My Way is responsible for tremendous suffering for our people. You know,
Another one.
just like in the Philippines, huh? we fix it when we need it. I'd like to thank so many people for inviting me here. You know, I haven't attended a fiesta in a long, long time, and I tell you, this is one of the best I've ever seen. And the things that happens in a country that's outside our own. Before I go, I'd like to thank so many people. First of all, I have a long list here. It's about an hour of. Okay. First, I'd like to thank Ms. Morel, Benita Morel, for writing us and inviting us. Thank you very much. And Mr. Romy and Nessie Aquino, where are they? Thank you. You know, I cannot afford a driver here, but you know, I have a PhD for a driver. Terry McDonald, thank you for, where is Terry? Thank you for the umbrella. It was raining a while ago, I just bought an umbrella with the University of Michigan seal. So I won't show it to my friends from the Michigan State. Father James, where is Father James? Father James, thank you. I'd like to register here as a parishioner, but Susan Go, thank you for briefing me on the library. We have a very good collection, and it just shows or indicates how solid our relationship between the Philippines and Michigan is. But I'm sorry to hear about the Wheat Fellowship. The funds have dried up, and it has been there for decades and decades, since 1910 or 1908. It just pains to see that we will no longer train legal scholars in the University of Michigan. And of course, her husband, John Robin, thank you for the intelligent exchange, foreign relations. And I have found a long-lost friend here. Maybe he has gone home. Owen Diaz. Owen, sama. Owen is a friend from the late 80s. He was he was apologizing for being a graduate of Mapua Institute of Technology. And I said, that's a very good school. It's otherwise known as MIT. Of course, Adelvisa Weller, my kababayan, nagadugayan ni Ilocano dito eh. And of course, Christine Castro. Thank you. We are very accomplished. I have a formal card. It's only 20 pages. No, seriously. To give justice to my staff who provided me facts and figures and niceties, I'd like to greet you all. I'll bring you greetings from Chicago. The Philippines, our native land, is teeming with rich and diverse natural resources, from its seas to its rivers, from its mountains to its underground minerals. That is exemplified in the poem Bayan Ko, which, as it succinctly suggests, and which, by the way, most of us know it by heart, and consider it our second national anthem. Says, and I quote, "Sa kanyang yumi at ganda, dayuhan ay nahalina. Bayan ko, binihag ka, nasadlak sa dusa." I think kindly translate to our friends. It's a very emotional link to the motherland. And no matter where we are, we remember the dances, the songs, the hospitality that goes with it when we have fiestas at home. But aside from that, we back home have a very young and vibrant population that is heavily laden with talent, and given equal training and proper equipment, I don't know what equipment do we have to provide here, we can stand shoulder to shoulder with the best in the world in any area of expertise or field of human endeavor. What went wrong, do you think, you might ask, that even after we were finally granted independence from the United States, our country has not fully developed the resources that we have into a mighty economy that's intended to benefit our people and ensuring the welfare of our country? I think that's a question that's no longer relevant, because today, as we have celebrated about a week ago, the celebration of our 117th independence, we continue to reflect on our country's heritage of freedom and heroism with the theme, "Tagumpay sa pagbabagong nasimulan, abot kamay na ng bayan." Or in English, we say that the triumphs that we had through reforms are now within the nation's reach. Our fortunes have turned around, in my opinion, and today we have rerouted our direction toward a better and stronger future. During the informal discussions at 3 o'clock today, we learned, or we exchanged certain facts that the Philippines is enjoying a very high economic growth, whose maintenance or sustenance will depend much on you, who is still our citizens or dual citizens of the Philippines, because you can choose the next set of leaders that will take over from the current administration on June 30th, or more exactly July 1st next year. We will have elections next year on the second Monday of May. So those of you who haven't registered, please do so that you can affect the political situation in the country. Recognition of the highly positive impact of these reforms comes from all over the world. Not only has the Philippine economy grown consistently and is projected by Bloomberg to be the second fastest economy in the world this year, we also have improved our standing in the last 5 years in competitiveness and in the ease of doing business. We have proudly made significant strides in the fight against corruption, rising to the upper half of the world for the first time last year in Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index. These are what we call good governance dividends, and as the President, who actually visited Chicago last month, announced that we are witnessing a cycle of good governance turning into good economics and into good and quality and inclusive economic growth. I think that the facts speak for themselves. We have an average growth rate in the past 5-6 years of 6.4, 6.3, 6.5%. Just before the typhoon, we were actually going up by 7.2%. It was severely affected by the strongest typhoon in recorded history, as you know. While some, and not many people know, that we already have paid all our official debts. Sa mga nakakaintindi ng Tagalog, wala na po tayong utang. Meron pa rin we don't have debts anymore from the IMF, from the World Bank. We still have private debts from banks like, I guess, Chase Manhattan in the old days or Citibank. But official debts, as far as we're concerned, we've paid all of them in the past few years. And when President Aquino, the mother, not the current president, assumed power in '86, there was a very heavy clamor for her to repudiate our international obligations, but she refused. She said, these are our obligations, we will shoulder them, and his son did it. The next generation did it. So, she was a good mother. And by the way, talking about a good mother, I think tomorrow is Father's Day. And upon instructions and upon consultations with my wife, upon her orders actually, I'd like to greet you all a happy Father's Day. So it takes a mother to order me to greet you. That's our structure in our house. It appears on the outside that I have authority, but actually at home, matawa yung mga kagaya mo rin, no? While some developed countries are burdened with continued weak growth and aging populations, our economic growth and potential will likely be carried much further in the 21st century as we hit the so-called demographic sweet spot. The rise of young and consumption-driven workforce as the great majority of the population, with the right set of leaders and the right set of policies, our country is indeed well poised to take new heights. That's where we need you. There's some statisticians in the Philippines say that we have 10 million Filipinos overseas, Filipino citizens. And if only 1/3 of that 10 million, so that's about 3 million and 333 something. I'm very poor in math, that's why I took up law. And more than 3 million can elect senators that will craft our laws. Have we as a people then finally learned our lesson, turned the corner and rediscovered the Yumi at Ganda of our country so as to attract foreigners, not as invaders this time or colonizers, but as tourists and investors? I wish to encourage everyone to reconnect with your roots in the Philippines at this important juncture of our history, where you can directly participate in the democratic processes and help ensure its progress and advance development through the privilege of reacquiring or retaining your Philippine citizenship and registering as overseas voters. Many of you don't know that if you were born after January 17, 1973, and one of your parents is a Filipino, you will forever be a Filipino wherever you are born. So I think many of you don't know that. So what we need from you is to register your birth with the consulate, and we will give you your Philippine passport, even if you already have other passports. So you can use it like a playing card. Father Horacio de la Costa, renowned Filipino historian, pointed to two things that Filipinos have for centuries kept as their most treasured gems. Their faith, so we are in a Catholic church, the majority religion in the Philippines, and music. On this occasion and at this venue, we have all discovered these gems. The unique Yumi at Ganda. Can you translate Yumi at Ganda in English? Yumi is it's difficult. Charm. Ganda is beauty. So charm and beauty of our culture. Let the inspiration of our song, dance, and rhythm carry our objective, our collective kindred souls to the bosom of our native land and find the same love, courage, and heroism of our forebears that will propel us to the peak of freedom, the fulfillment of our ideals and identity. Mga kababayan, akin po kayong inaanyayahan na sumali sa susunod na halalan para makapili tayo ng tamang mamumuno sa bansa. So, translated, na kayo amin, Ilocano pala yun. In English, it says, I would like to invite you, fellow Filipinos, to kindly participate in next year's political exercise so that you will ensure the continuity of reforms and thereby irreversibly propel our country to economic prosperity, political maturity, and the rightful place it has in the family of nations. Naimbang Arabiyo, amin na po, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Maayong gabi sa inyong mga kalan. Good evening. By the way, I'm not a candidate.
And this is a courtesy of sisters Adeline and Brian. I'm calling them down and we will hand them to you.
Ray, are you around? Boy! Sorry. It's the Filipino in me. Pinopi and Ash.
Oh, thank you.
I guess.
Elsie. Thank you. Joette and Mark.
Joette and Mark.
Joette, Mark, and Ed.
Joette, Mark, and Ed. Mark is somewhere.
Yes.
Francis.
Francis.
Nor.
Nor is no more. Where are you, Nor?
some flowers for the little participants. So, this is for Jessica. Miguel?
Please don't leave. I promised you music, dance, and food.
Jaime?
So please stick around before the song ends.
And for the new kids, for the Salakot dancers. Who are the Salakot dancers?
Calling the Salakot dancers, please come forward. Salakot dancers. Yes, they're here behind you.
And Trixie. Trixie.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and for the Pitty dancers,
Okay, so we're gonna start in an organized fashion like good Filipinos. You all know what that means, no? Really?